So let's talk about conversion factors, which do fall under the ratios category. And the SAT always has a couple questions for you, and some super tricky ones too in this category. A conversion factor, right, is how you can change one unit to another, for instance, feet to inches or inches to centimeters. And it is a fraction where the numerator and denominator are equal, but in different units. In other words, it equals 1. So if I'm going to convert 15 feet to inches, I'm going to multiply it by this conversion factor right here, 12 inches over 1 foot. Well, 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. So I'm really just multiplying it by the number 1. But I'm multiplying it by the number 1 in such a way that I'm going to change the units, right? So the units on the bottom, these are the ones that cancel. And the units on the top, these are going to match my answer. So because I'm trying to cancel feet, I'm going to put that 1 foot on the bottom. And because I want my answer in inches, I put the inches on the top. And I can see here, yeah, I'm just multiplying 15 times 12. I know in this example, it looks like, why did you have to make it so hard? Why couldn't you just say it's 15 times 12? Well, because when it gets more complicated, this method still works really, really well. And if you've had a chemistry class, you're going to learn a word for this method that I love is called stoichiometry. I just like saying that, stoichiometry. It's a fun word to say. You always sound smart when you say stoichiometry. See, I can't even stop. All right, so let's try it for converting inches to feet. I would start with 67 inches. I'm going to multiply it by my conversion factor. I want to cancel inches, so I put inches in the bottom. I want feet for my answer, so I put feet in the top. And I know that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. So here I can see now it's going to be 67 divided by 12 because 12 is in the bottom, and I get 5.58 feet. All right. Please try the next two. They are a little trickier. You really do have to write those conversion factors. Pause the video. All right, hopefully you paused the video and tried these. I'm going to give them away. How many minutes are in 24 weeks? The way I'm going to, I'm sorry, in 2.4 weeks. I'm going to start with 2.4 weeks. And I don't happen to have memorized how many minutes per week. So I'm going to get rid of weeks, but I'm going to change it to days because I do have it memorized that there are 7 days in 1 week. But I don't want to know days. I want to know minutes. So I'm going to get rid of days and I'm going to convert that to hours. And I know that there's 24 hours in 1 day. But I don't want to know minutes. I don't want to know hours. I want to know minutes, right? So I'm going to do one more. I'm going to get rid of hours and I'm going to convert it to minutes. And I know there's 60 minutes in 1 hour. Okay, so what we're doing is we're starting with 2.4. We're multiplying by 7. We're multiplying by 24 and we're multiplying by 60. Put it all in your calculator. You get 24,192 minutes. All right, and now let's try it with 70 miles per hour. We're going to put that into feet per minute. 70 miles. I'm going to write it like this to make it as clear as possible. Miles per hour. I have to change the miles into feet and the hours into minutes. So I'm going to, in order to get rid of miles, I'm going to put miles on the bottom. And I'm changing that into feet. The SAT will usually give you this conversion factor, but it's a cool one to memorize. You should know 50 to 80 feet in 1 mile. But again, I've always seen the SAT give that particular one. And now I'm going to convert hours to minutes, but do be careful because hours started in the bottom. In order to cancel it, I have to put it in the top, right? So now it's going to cancel, and I'm going to put minutes in the bottom, and that's the right place for it because my answer will have minutes, but they will be in the denominator, right? It'll be feet per minute. So that's where I want them to be, is down there. I know that 1 hour is 60 minutes. So on your calculator, you start with 70, you multiply by 5280, and then you divide by 60, right? So one of each times 5280 divided by 60, and you should end up getting here 6,160 feet per minute. All right. And let's just try some SAT questions that use this skill. So as usual, pause the video, answer these questions 1 and 2. All right, now that you have had a chance to do it on your own, I will show you the answers that I get. The first one, I actually think we did this question in the opening video. So if it looks familiar, it's if you maybe saw it, you maybe saw it a couple of weeks ago. Um, so you are just going to take the 3,500. I'm not even going to use stoichiometry for this. I'm going to multiply it by 7 and you get 24,500. All right, for the Girl Scouts, we have they are making baskets, gift bags for the kids in the hospital. They can make 120 bags in 90-minute meeting. What is their production of gift bags per hour? I'm going to make a proportion for this. Let me do bags per minute. I know 120 bags can be done in 90 minutes. And I'm going to not put one for hours. I'm going to put 60 to keep it all in the same units as minutes. So let's put an X there. And then in order to solve for this, I could cross multiply 120 times 60 equals 90x. So we're going to divide both sides by 90. In your calculator, you put 90 times, I'm sorry, in your calculator, 120 times 60 divided by 90. Yeah, there is a shortcut if you reduce the fraction first. There's definitely other ways to do it, but this will work every time. And in this case, you are going to get 80. And the answer is C. All right, let's try the next one. Again, take a moment, pause your um, pause your video, get your own answers. Please be careful. In both of these questions, you can see that I underlined the words square yards. I did that because if you do not pay close attention to those words, you will fall for a trap. So having said that, if you already tried these questions, just make sure you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, you probably fell for the trap. All right, let me go over it. Let's start with the farm has an area of 1.25 square miles. And I know that 1 mile equals 1760 yards. So I want to get rid of miles and I want to bring in yards. 1 mile is 1760. But here's the thing. If I just multiply this right now, I'm not going to cancel miles because I have square miles and that doesn't cancel regular miles. Also, my answer would not be in square yards because right now my answer isn't just regular linear yards. So what I'm going to do is square the conversion factor. All right, now I will have effectively square yards and square miles in my conversion factor. So it is a quick and easy question, but you need to know that that 1760, that number gets squared. All right, so on your calculator, 1.25 times 1760 squared. Only square the 1760, not the 1.25. You do end up with a humongous number, specifically 3,872,000. The other thing that's tricky about these conversion factors where you have square units is sometimes the number is much bigger or much smaller than your intuition expects. And you second guess yourself even when you get the right answer. Or if you're guessing, you say to yourself, oh, it could never be that. That's way too big. These particular questions, sometimes you get really big and really small answers. So be ready for those. Don't like avoid them. Certainly still solve the problem, right? But don't second guess yourself if you get something big, it does happen. All right, let's try this last one. We have 4 hectares, and which is closest to the field in square yards? Well, 1 hectare is 10,000 square meters. So I think I can say we have 40,000 square meters. Right? And I want to change that to square yards. This is where we have a linear conversion factor, but I need to work with squared units. So we're getting rid of meters. We're bringing in yards. 1 meter is 1.094 yards, but I got to square it, right? So that I'm working in square units, square that conversion factor. All right, put this in your calculator, 40,000 times 1.094 squared. And your calculator is going to tell you that is this number D, 47,873.